I was on my second tour of Vietnam, but I knew that I might not make it back. So I wanted to get close to God and be ready. I noted that there was something different about him, the way he conducted himself.
He was just, for some reason, had kind of a little bit of a rock star quality. People just liked him.
When I met him, I knew there was something about this man that was extra special.
You could see it when he said Mass.
I had never seen a priest celebrate Mass the way he did. During Mass, he held the chalice up in the air, and I said to myself, God is here. God is here with us right now.
And I think that's the first time I saw him. Yeah, he was tall and lean, and I went up to take the Eucharist. Had a very kind, but
the body of Christ.
Kind of a hardened look. I mean, he'd been out there. He'd been there before.
O Lord, hear my prayer. Grant us pardon, absolution, and remission of our sins. The Lord be with you and bring you to life everlasting. Amen. God has given us life that we should live it fully. God chooses minute for respect.
As he has done previously from people I had talked to, he waits till the last helicopter and he comes aboard. Why do you wait for the last one? Because he didn't want anybody to know he was going out there.
I don't think any of us liked to go up against the NVA. They would hit us at the time and place of their choosing. They would try to get close to us so we couldn't use our supporting arms as effectively.
All of which was to come into play in Operation Swift. The NVA were out there, in numbers, concealed, waiting for them. And the Marines of Mike Company had no idea exactly where they were or how many of them there were.
The three platoons were in a wedge. We were moving tactically because we knew that there were a lot of North Vietnamese in the area.
The first platoon was on point. I had the right flank.
And there was an exchange between my platoon sergeant and my first squad leader, who said he saw what he thought was an NVA.
The point man, Jack Swan, yells back, "I think I just saw a bush move." So he yelled back, "If it moves again, shoot it."
He said if it moves again, Swanee, shoot it.
And within 10 seconds, this pop, became automatic weapons, AK-47s.
The whole world just disintegrated. We started getting hit by mortars, heavy machine guns.
The sound of gunfire was the most intense I've ever heard.
There's so many bullets in the air, you could trim your fingernails by sticking your hands up.
Lieutenant, there's so many of them! Calm down! Mike 6 on the phone right now! 6, Mike 1! Mike 6, Mike 1! Oh, now! What? I understand you! Can't understand them, sir! They're all talking at once!
Knock it off and calm down!
Yes, sir!
I want the platoon leaders, 1, 2, 3, 5, in that order. Mike 1, this is Mike 6, action, what's going on?
I need more fire on coordinates! 0, 9er, 5, 0, 4, 9er!
Let's right on top of you!
This can't be real. They can't really have gotten that close to us.
Yes, sir, they're right on top of us! Roger out! All right, we gotta go!
It was like left side had been blown away.
And he got hit with a .50 caliber.
Mike 2 Axel, this is Mike 2, over.
Second platoon radio operator Steve Lovejoy was pinned down and his radio didn't work.
And I'm thinking, I'm going to die right now. I hope it doesn't hurt.
Mike 6 Axel, this is Mike 2, do you read? What's your name? Lovejoy. Lovejoy. Calm down. Take it. Stay down. You need to look.
That was the last time that I saw Father Capodanno alive.
Mike 5, this is Mike 6 actual. I want fire at 095-349er. Roger up.
What the hell are you doing here? I came here in 3rd platoon. I heard you in 1st. We're getting the worst of it. I'm going up there. Lieutenant.
He said, I gotta go. And I just said, okay. Now, he wasn't carrying a machine gun, he wasn't carrying an M16, he wasn't carrying anything. He didn't have a sidearm. He just had his faith.
Lieutenant Ed Combs was so badly wounded he didn't recognize the Marine from his own platoon who was coming to help him. It was George Phillips.
And he was shot up pretty bad. And I told him that we'd be back to get him.
Lieutenant, I'm gonna get you out of here. You gotta get material out first. Hold me back. Come on.
Under intense fire and cut off from his unit, Lance Corporal Fred Tankey was trying to fight off an NVA flanking maneuver.
I stopped and I emptied a magazine down in that area, firing at him.
Second Platoon Corpsman Armando Leal was badly wounded in the leg.
Immediately I saw Doc Leal, Armando Leal, our corpsman. He had just got shot with his right femur and he was starting to bleed profusely. And he said to me, can you help me? You gotta put your fingers inside my leg. I'm gonna bleed out. I'm bleeding out.
You gotta put your finger. You gotta put your finger in it. You gotta clamp it.
I see this machine gun that he was getting ready to fire on us.
We gotta get you out of here, okay? We gotta get you medical help, okay? We're gonna get you. Take him.
So I raised my rifle, my M16. I says, I got this guy. He's... Pull the trigger and nothing happens. Rifle jam.
No, take it. I'm not gonna make it.
He says, no, I can't make it. I can't make it. You go. I said, no, you're going with me. And he just collapsed face down into the dirt. His time was up. He bled out.
All right, let's go.
George Phillips finally made it back to his platoon commander, Ed Combs. But Combs figured he was too badly wounded to make it.
I can't make it. Oh, get out of here. Can you baptize me?
You gotta remember, this is in the middle of battle, so we're not wasting any time.
Baptize you?
I said to him, Lieutenant, do you want to be baptized into the Catholic faith?
In the Catholic faith? Yes. Yes.
He said he did. And so I took my canteen out.
I baptize you, Lieutenant Ed Combs. In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Come on, let's
George Phillips wasn't a corpsman, but he had spent a year in the seminary.
That day, on the 4th of September, with Ed Combs, came to good use.
In a clearing where NVA troops were breaking through the Marines' right flank, J.D. Murray sent orders to 2nd Platoon Commander Blecksmith to gather squads and try to stop them.
And Father Capodanno took off after those squads because Father Capodanno wanted to be there.
Ego te absolvo. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
And there was a machine gunner in the bushes in front of that clearing. Everybody that went through that clearing was getting shot. And then Father Capodanno would go to that person, and he was kneeling up. And he was obviously praying and talking to them. They're dying.
What's he doing? What is Father doing? Everyone going into that clearing is getting killed. Get down, Father! Father! Get down!
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. God be with you.
Watch out for the gunner! Corbin up! Corbin up!
It was at approximately 7 a.m. on the east coast of the United States on September 4th, 1967, that the Capodanno family Maryknoll in the U.S. Navy lost one of their best. On that morning on the other side of the world, Father Vincent R. Capodanno gave, as Abraham Lincoln put it, the last full measure of devotion. That same morning, Father Vincent's sister Pauline had awoken from a troubling dream.
And she got up in the morning and she called my father and said, I know something happened to Vincent. Something happened. I know it did.
Al Lambert's mother was at her ironing board when the phone rang.
And my mother goes over to the phone, she answers it, and all of a sudden, my mother, she started to scream. Oh my God, this can't be. And I knew, just by the way she threw the phone down and she picked it up and she put her hands on her face and, what's the matter, what's the matter? She couldn't even get the words out, Father Vincent.
It was very, very hushed silence.
The 4 Marine companies involved in Operation Swift lost 54 killed and 104 wounded in the Battle of September 4th, 1967. With Marine air support, they were able to pull back into a tighter defensive perimeter and survive until morning. But Marines like George Phillips did not get much sleep that night.
You would work in pairs. We would go down and try to bring back the wounded, try to bring back the dead, and we did this all night long.
Not until dawn broke would the Marines know for certain who had survived and who hadn't. That's when Father Vincent was identified. Ed Blecksmith remembers.
Every other American I'd seen killed had a very terrified look on their face. He was at peace.
The bitter task of informing headquarters of the death of Chaplain Capodanno fell to Commander J.D. Murray.
One Navy lieutenant, KIA, and immediately people came back and says, please validate that.
In Father Capodanno's old unit, 1-7, Henry Hernandez got the word.
They said, well, didn't you hear? I said, hear what? He said, the padre got killed. And it was like if the whole world just came to still. I mean, my heart just fell to the ground.
The whole hospital just...
Leo Rosetta, the corpsman Father Vincent had gotten transferred to 1st Medical Battalion, was there when they brought his body in.
I didn't go over to see his body. I knew how badly he was wounded, and I just wanted to remember him the way he was, not torn up.
The chaplain corps said, well, he was in the wrong place. And I said, no, he wasn't. You go where you go, and if the battalion goes, you go.
At division headquarters, a mass was said for Father Capodanno. Father Krulak was in charge of arranging transportation.
Company commanders, find out how many of your people want to go, and we'll get the vehicles, trucks to take them in. And they did, hundreds. Hundreds.
Father Vincent was taken to his sister Pauline's house.
My aunt would not let his body go anywhere else, so he was in her house for 3 or 4 days, and there was a military honor guard. Everyone just from everywhere came. There was a procession to Staten Island where he was buried. There were cars, I think it was a mile long across the bridge.
Father Vincent was buried in St. Peter's Cemetery, West New Brighton, Staten Island, New York. His cousin Al Lambert wonders sometimes whether Father Vincent would recognize a role for himself in today's world.
Would he be happy? I don't know. Happy wasn't part of it, because you can't be happy on the battlefield. Was he committed on the battlefield? Did he realize he belonged there? Of course he did, but happy is a hard word.
There hasn't been a day that I don't think of him. You know, really. As soon as I wake up, it's just as if it happened yesterday. It never left me, no matter whether I was having a good time or a bad time or whatever. Vincent was there, I could see him. I could see him at my mother's house. Oh, to me, he was so tall and talk about straight, you know. He was so nice and tall and straight, and yeah, it was sad, sad.
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the nation's capital. The huge granite wall stands as a massive yet elegant tribute to the more than 58,000 Americans who died half a world away. The names etched into the 492-foot monument tell stories of life, love, and death. In many cases, it is a story of quiet sacrifice. The name Vincent R. Capodanno, and each and every name in the wall, is an appeal to the conscience of Americans to acknowledge the value of courage, compassion, and commitment.